You open your phone to check the time. But then, a notification lights up. A message. A new short video. Just a few seconds, you tell yourself. But seconds turn into minutes. Minutes stretch into half an hour. And when you finally look up, you've forgotten why you picked up your phone in the first place. It's not because you lack focus. It's not because you're weak-willed. It's because the device in your hand, along with everything inside it, was carefully designed to keep your attention. Each like, each message, each new suggestion triggers a small response in your brain, a subtle push, encouraging you to keep going. It all revolves around dopamine, a naturally occurring chemical in the brain, linked not to satisfaction, but to anticipation. It doesn't say, "I'm happy now." It says, "I might be happy soon." And that tiny feeling of expectation is often just enough to make you stay. Not because you're unaware, but because you're responding to a pattern designed to feel rewarding, one tiny signal at a time. The brain isn't chasing rewards. It's chasing the feeling that one might come. Here's something surprising about dopamine. It doesn't actually create satisfaction. It creates anticipation. Dopamine doesn't say, "I'm happy now." It says something good might be around the corner. And that distinction matters, because the brain responds not just to what is happening, but to what could happen next. When you see a new notification, when the next video is about to load, when a message preview appears on the screen, your brain doesn't wait to judge the content. It simply says, "Don't miss it. This might be interesting." This response is natural. In early human history, it helped us seek out food, water, shelter. It kept us alert to possibilities. Today, those same circuits are triggered by visuals, sounds, and timing, carefully arranged to draw attention again and again. Most people don't scroll endlessly because every post is amazing. They scroll because their brain is constantly hoping the next one will be. This is sometimes called a variable reward system, meaning when rewards are unpredictable, we tend to engage even more. Not knowing what's coming next, not being able to guess whether the next reel, post, or ping will be meaningful, is exactly what keeps the cycle going. Dopamine isn't a single burst that ends. It forms a gentle loop, a quiet mental nudge to check again, just in case. You refresh not because you need something, but because your brain is trained to expect something might be waiting. It's not a flaw. It's a pattern rooted in curiosity, a deeply human instinct. But when that instinct is continuously prompted, in environments designed to keep feeding it, it becomes harder to step away, even when nothing new has arrived. When everything feels like it might be better than what you're seeing now, you're scrolling through your phone, a funny clip, an inspiring quote, a photo that makes you pause. You think, just one more. But that one more never seems to end, because there's always something that looks like it could be even better waiting just below. That's not random. It's the result of thoughtful design, the infinite scroll. There's no final page, no natural stopping point, just a stream of content arranged to spark attention, with bright visuals, short loops, and headlines made to stir curiosity. Each time you find something mildly interesting, your brain registers a small reward, and immediately after that, it begins preparing for the next. It's like casting a line into the water, not because you know what you'll catch, but because the chance itself feels exciting. And the more unpredictable the outcome, the stronger the pull. That's why most of what you scroll through might not be memorable, but the possibility that something amazing is just one swipe away keeps you there. You don't need every post to be perfect. You just need to believe that the next one might be. And that's the loop. What's most compelling isn't the content, it's the open-ended experience. No signal says, "You've seen enough." No gentle pause tells you, "That's a good place to stop." So you continue, not because you're unmotivated, but because there's no clear invitation to leave. And when it's finally over, not by design, but by fatigue, you might ask yourself, what did I even watch for the last 30 minutes? Not out of guilt, but out of surprise. And how easy it is to drift when there's always something more just a little further down. When you check your phone without knowing what you're checking for. Have you ever unlocked your phone, scrolled through a few apps, then locked the screen, only to open it again just minutes later, doing exactly the same thing? No new messages, no urgent notifications. You don't even know what you're looking for, but your fingers move anyway, almost by memory. That's not random. It's the result of hundreds, maybe thousands of small, rewarding moments you've experienced before. A message that made you smile, a post that made you feel seen, a video that caught you off guard in the best way. Each of those moments created a subtle pattern in your mind, a loop, a habit, not always conscious, but deeply familiar. It's not the content that pulls you back, it's the possibility of content. Maybe someone replied, maybe there's a like, maybe a new reel just landed. And even when there's nothing waiting, just checking gives your brain a momentary sense of closure, a completed cycle, a tiny reward. It feels like you're staying updated, like you're still connected, even if nothing actually happened. Notifications, those gentle buzzes, glowing icons, red badges, aren't just messages. They're invitations, subtle cues to revisit, to re-engage, to stay present in a space that's always moving. And even when those signals are turned off, your brain may still whisper, check, just in case. It's not about urgency. It's about familiar rhythm, something your mind has learned to associate with activity, with presence, with possibility. And so you return, again and again, not always to find something, but simply because returning has become part of how you move through the day. This doesn't make you less focused. It makes you human, responding naturally to a world designed to keep offering tiny doorways back inside. But sometimes it's worth asking, am I searching for something meaningful, or have I just grown used to the feeling of always needing to search? Maybe you don't need more. Maybe you just need to notice what's enough. Have you ever had an afternoon where you didn't touch your phone at all? No notifications, no scrolling, no sense of needing to catch up. Just an open window, soft sunlight, a warm drink, and the kind of quiet where you can hear your own breath again. Strangely, in that moment, there's no dopamine spike, no digital reward, and yet somehow you feel full. Not because you're rejecting technology, not because you're choosing one world over another, but because you start to recognize that some joys don't need signals to feel real. We don't have to step away from social media entirely. It's part of how we live, work, and connect. But maybe what we do need is to notice the difference between I want to check and I just always check. The difference between choosing to scroll and feeling like you must. That quiet sense of maybe there's something I'm missing. It's familiar. It's deeply human. But the moments that truly make us feel grounded, the ones that last, are often the ones without a screen. A hug, a shared laugh, a conversation without distraction. Maybe what we really need isn't another clip, but a few minutes to stay still with ourselves. And maybe the goal isn't to escape from these platforms, but to learn how to step out when we recognize that we're already full.